Humans have always been fascinated by the concept of flight. Helicopters, for example, have evolved in so many ways, from an impossible dream into one of the most important forms of transportation / vertical flight. In fact, this was the most demanding challenge in flying, which required more innovation in structure and control than any conventional fixed-wing aircrafts that were more common back in the day. As our technology progressed, of course the challenges with vertical flight were solved, having the first helicopters make their first appearance in the 1940s. The very first helicopter, however, appeared in 1936 when Germany was following through with their military campaign. During World War II, Germany continued their development and became the first country in the world to put a helicopter model into mass production. This was the Flettner Kolibri. The one who pioneered the single main rotor and tail rotor design, on the other hand, was Igor Surkovsky of the Vought-Surkovsky Aircraft Division of the United Aircraft Corporation in the US. Up to this date, most helicopters still follow this design. It's not until the end of World War II when the commercial use of helicopters developed. They were seen in police work, firefighting, agriculture crop spraying, medical evacuation, and of course, carrying passengers. As demands for helicopters increased through the years, the expanding market of this form of transportation brought more manufacturers into the field, each with unique approaches on how to solve the challenges of vertical flight. These days, there are many brands in the world that are making helicopters equipped with all the features money can buy. Considered as one of the most expensive and luxurious ways to travel, here are the 5 most expensive helicopters in the world. But before we start, make sure to like and subscribe to be notified of our future videos. AgustaWestland AW139, $12 million. This helicopter was originally developed by Bell & Augusta Helicopters, and it was initially called the Augusta Bell. Since then, it's become known for being one of the safest in the world. In the event of a single engine failure, its system can automatically handle the problem without any noticeable flight deviation. It's also quite popular among emergency services because of its ability to take off and land in uneven terrain and confined areas. It has a conventional twin-engine design, equipped with a 5-bladed fully articulated main rotor and a 4-bladed tail rotor. The AW139 also has an autopilot system, so it can be flown without a co-pilot, and it can take up to 15 passengers. It can run up to 193 miles per hour with a maximum range of more than 1,000 kilometers. The AW139 was first introduced to the market in 2003 and was marketed for VIP transport, offshore transport, search and rescue, firefighting, law enforcement, and more. The Irish Air Corps was one of the first military operators of this helicopter model, followed by the UAE Air Force and the Qatar Air Force. Because of its popularity in the military, special variants of the helicopter were produced. In fact, there are about 11 variants of this helicopter, most of which are used in military services. With the help of completion centers, one can transform this helicopter into a VVIP version. The Marcair Aviation Group, for example, has done a lot of customizations on this helicopter, with costs that range from $400,000 to $1.3 million. Airbus ACH-160, $14 million. The ACH-160 is the luxury version of the H-160 helicopter, which takes advantage of modern manufacturing technologies and materials to produce a more efficient vertical flight. In fact, it's the first of its kind to replace conventional hydraulic landing gear and brakes with its electronic counterparts. Well, about the H-160, it's a medium utility helicopter that was first launched in 2015. It's the first helicopter to feather the Blue Edge 5-bladed main rotor, which reduced the aircraft's noise and increased the payload by 100 kilograms. The newest design of the H-160 makes it the first ever fully composite civil helicopter that's lighter, more robust, and requires less maintenance. And about the specs, well, it can carry up to 1,700 kilograms and has a maximum cruise speed of over 200 miles per hour. It also has a service ceiling of 19,357 feet and a maximum range of 530 miles. Since the ACH-160 is the most expensive H-160, it comes with all the perks and can be tailored per customer. Seating, for example, can be customized with options like bench-style seats, individual seats, or a mix of both. Like any other luxury vehicle, the insides of the helicopter are lined with leather, wood veneers, and even a handmade carpet. The interiors have been accomplished with Pegasus design, with expansive windows for better lighting. With the company's new turboshaft engine, the helicopter is able to provide more than 4 hours of flight, with a maximum cruising speed of 178 miles per hour. The ACH-160 also features the latest flight deck from Helionics, which promises to decrease the pilot workload. Bell 525 Relentless, $15 million. This helicopter has not yet been released to the market, but when it is, Bell Textron says it'll cost around $15 million. The first prototype of the helicopter first reached the skies in 2015. Then a crash was reported a year later. It has a military service concept and is meant to serve as a troop transport or search and rescue purpose for the Air Forces. Bell states that this helicopter will be the first to use the fly-by-wire system, which is a computer-regulated aircraft flight control system that replaces mechanical controls. It aims to reduce pilot workload and eventually improve the helicopter's performance and safety. Without physical switches in most helicopters these days, it allows for the most straightforward engine starts for pilots. With FAA certification expected this year, this helicopter promises breakthrough design features, which include a 667-mile range and a best-in-class top cruise speed of 184 miles per hour. It also features up to 90% vibration reduction from the main rotor to the main cabin. Speaking of helicopter cabins, Bell Textron states that this is one of the biggest they've ever built. Aside from that, it uses the Garmin G500H, which is the first fully integrated touchscreen avionics suite designed specifically for helicopters. Sikorsky S92 VIP variant, $18 million. This helicopter is definitely for those who have deep pockets, really deep. It costs around $18 million, and even more, depending on whether you want to have the interior lined with gold, or whatever strikes your fancy. So what is it with this helicopter that makes it the most sought-after VVIP helicopter these days? Well, first, let's talk about the specs. The Sikorsky S92 was actually developed from the S70. Both helicopters even share the same flight controls and rotor systems. It has twin turboshaft engines, aluminum airframe, and a 4-blade fully articulated main rotor that's wider than the older S70 counterpart. It has a maximum speed of 190 miles per hour, with a maximum travel distance of 998 kilometers, with a service ceiling of 4,300 meters. It can carry up to 12,565 kilograms of payload. Now, let's go to the luxury part of the helicopter. The Sikorsky S92 offers a standard 9-passenger interior with a spacious cabin, which can even include a wet bar, closet, laboratory, and a galley. It also offers stand-up headroom, so you can walk freely throughout the cabin without stopping. Seats offer more than enough legroom, and it even provides warm air at your feet. Most of the interior is lined with leather and wood, but it can be customized to meet your needs. To complete this ultimate luxury travel experience, this helicopter also provides premium sound systems, lighting, and of course, Wi-Fi. Heads of state and corporate giants have chosen the S92 not only because of its luxury features, it's also one of the safest helicopters these days, with an array of safety features including HRIF, ice and lightning protection, flaw tolerance, redundant systems, and more. With numerous state-of-the-art safety features, this helicopter instills passengers with peace of mind as they travel. Sikorsky VH-92A, $95 million. You've probably heard of Air Force One. You've seen it in movies, TV shows, and even on the news. Well, it's a winged aircraft belonging to the U.S. Air Force, on which the President travels. Now, the Sikorsky VH-92A, also known as Marine One, is the Marine Corps counterpart of Air Force One that's scheduled to enter service in 2021. Like Air Force One, of course, it aims to provide safe and reliable air transportation for the U.S. President and Vice President. Marine One is the next generation of presidential transport helicopter that was developed for the U.S. Marine Corps. This helicopter replaces the aging VH-3D presidential helicopter in service with the Marine Corps. Designed under the Presidential Helicopter Replacement Program, the Sikorsky's VH-92A is basically the presidential version of the S-92 helicopter, which is also included on this list. It's equipped with a crash-worthy fuselage, twin turboshaft engine, and a fully articulated composite main rotor. To reduce the risk of post-crash fire, the helicopter features a self-contained fuel system. The seats and landing gear are also equipped with a force-absorbing tech to reduce the effects of a hard landing. Other safety features of the helicopter include de-icing systems for cold weather environments, lightning protection, electromagnetic interference protection, flaw tolerance, and bird strike protection. Decoy launchers and laser-based directional infrared countermeasures are also in there in case of an assassination attempt. Like the S-92, Marine One offers true stand-up headroom. Designed to accommodate 19 passengers, the 1.2-meter wide cabin and low acoustic levels ensure more comfort in normal operations. Also, like Air Force One, it integrates full duplex satellite communication and onboard Wi-Fi. Just recently, the U.S. Navy ordered 5 VH-92A presidential helicopters for the U.S. President and other high-ranking dignitaries for $478.6 million. Helicopters have been under sporadic development ever since the First World War. Emerging technologies such as artificial intelligence, machine learning, nanotechnology, and even robotics are expected to revolutionize the battlefields of the future, including helicopters. With NASA's involvement in developing new types of helicopters, anything's possible. With years of development and innovation, what do you think the helicopters of the future will look like? Let us know in the comments section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe.